where the home team actually might struggle up against the rest of the competition in their group.
It's going to be very interesting to see how this one plays out. But like I said before, it is time to get this going. It is the Netherlands facing off against Poland. And there they are, coming out right now. Poland and the Netherlands, and I want to say, I just want Too Easy's dance moves. You know?
they're pretty good.
Does they have any?
So,
Where did you get that from? What?
Yeah. Okay.
You know something I don't.
Now you need to dance, and we need to see this.
No, I don't.
Camera.
I don't claim to have any dance moves. But you're sitting there. You're saying he has dance moves. Bring it
I'm
on.
just saying, you know, he's got something going on over here.
Yeah.
Lord knows what that is.
I learned all my dance moves from the Overwatch emotes, so
Yeah, sure.
I got the Winston down.
This
so.
is
That's the
all
hardest
there.
one too.
That is the
that's,
hardest one. You don't
it's
understand.
a tough one. But
That's
yeah, hashtag Oranje,
Okay.
how they call themselves. And the Netherlands is feeling super comfortable going into this competition. They have great chemistry, and they just said that it instantly clicked. Jona and Facility, they are the young bloods of the team, joined by 4 really experienced players.
Yeah, I mean, these guys don't. They came in and they didn't expect to be good, you know, from the start. But they just went in, scrimmed, and it just clicked. And on this team, you have a lot of good players. I mean, you have Too Easy, you have Dante in the backline, Morte. I mean, that's a really strong backline to start out with. And then you have Facility, who's actually a really good player. I mean, this guy plays a lot of ranks. He's really high. He's probably top 10 quite a, sometimes. So
from a pro rank.
yeah, So it's a really good Genji they have available here as well.
Yeah, and there's the Polish team. James, what can you tell me about this squad?
You know, there are many things that are working in their favor for Team Poland here. Many of these players have, in some regard, played together, so they do already have that kind of natural chemistry, right? That synergy, and especially coming with that communication from playing on a team together with Ali6 and more recently OWQQ. So I'm hoping, you know, that kind of synergy will be able to win out at the end of the day. When you bring that experience together, it might just be able to be what topples Team Netherlands here.
Yeah, I think we're looking for the Polish team to kind of channel that same magic that Portugal had in Australia, right? Where, you know, like you were just, Mauzaza and the boys were really like, you had some unknowns on the team and the veterans just guided them to victory. Can you see that happening here, Reinforced?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we spoke to them and they had a set game plan, and that's really important. They said they were going to sit back a bit more, poke, you know, take their time. But they don't really have that dedicated shot caller, and that might be their downfall. You want to get those good engages with the Winston and Genjis and stuff, so we'll see if it turns out well for them.
Yeah, and for the Netherlands here, Zoe, what excites me about this team, for one, you know, I've always been like a Too Easy, and by the way, can we just clarify here for the world that it is Morta?
Morte.
Okay, Morta.
Morte.
Morte.
Okay, everyone, roll your R's.
Morte.
Morta. Okay, and not Morty. Okay, like Rick and Morty.
Morty?
Well, Doa tried to establish the Morty, but
He tried really hard.
He got
tried.
shut down.
Yeah,
to
no.
say the least. It wasn't pretty, honestly.
Yeah, it was a brutal defeat
Yeah.
for Team Doa there. But yeah, so this squad, very exciting team with a lot of weapons, a lot of power on this side of the Netherlands.
Yeah, I mean, they're super confident. They are aiming for that second spot in their own group, but they also said that they have absolutely no worries going up against Russia or Canada for the other group than to get the ticket to BlizzCon. So they generally seem very calm and very confident in the roles and how they now set it all up, even though some people had to switch off of their usual main roles. I mean, Jona calls himself a part-time main tank now officially. So yeah, but he didn't seem worried at all.
Yeah, and they also have Crusade, usually a Lucio player, this time on the Diva. But this is a guy I trust to do a good job on the Diva.
He did play Diva, or he used to actually play Flex. That's the thing. Like he does have the practice on Diva and Zarya, so he was, before he got known for his great Lucio plays, he was that Flex player, and he did actually say prior to those games we're going to see today that he wants to show the world that he's also a very capable Flex player, not just a Lucio.
I'm pretty
he's
sure
so much more.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure any main tank or Lucio, you know, they want to show the world like, I'm not just a Lucio or Winston main, you know. I can aim. I have mechanics.
I totally get that, and I think that is also a defining factor for this Dutch team because they have a lot to prove. Also, they did play in a tournament prior to this, if I'm correct. They played, I think, in the ECL tournament or something like that. So just to test their mettle, see how well they could do. And I think they ended up getting eliminated by the team that won the whole thing, which was a full squad. Or something like that.
A full Swedish squad. Very important to know.
Oh,
yeah, this is super important.
Let's calm down.
Yeah,
Sweden.
Yeah, no, but they did really good actually online. Vivis Adventure is a pretty good up-and-coming team here in Europe. So, I mean, they had a pretty good results, and yeah, it's looking good for them.
Yeah, you can't be too miffed about that, especially coming into this event.
Yeah, really good to get that official practice going for them. It's not practice, you know, in a safe environment, so to speak. You know, we got some official matches. There's a bit more pressure going on, so it's good practice.
Yeah, and for a team like this that wants to be able to gel very quickly, that is super important. On the Polish side, though, I guess, what's your takeaway here? How do you think that, because Reinforced did mention that they are going to struggle, or they could potentially struggle with comms, with the in-game leader, with communication, engages and whatnot. Do you foresee that being an issue on your end?
Well, one of the things that Team Poland told us was that they do like to play a little bit more passively, right? They like to take their time, outpoke, and then try to find the right engagements. And I think this might be one of the kind of playstyles you need up against the Netherlands here, who are going to have a very strong dive. But we've seen a lot of times dive falter to a team that can counter-engage, right? They wait it out, they bait out the Winston jump, they focus him down, and then they pick apart the rest of the team once the Winston is down. And so as long as they can stay clear-headed, I think Poland can succeed there.
All right, guys. Well, it's time to jump in to our first matchup of the day. It will be the Netherlands versus Poland. We're going to see how all this will play out. It's time to send it over to your casters.
Hey guys, Dylan Monte Cristo here for our first match of the Katowice stage of the Overwatch World Cup, Netherlands versus Poland. And immediately, I think the first thing we need to address is the Morta controversy. Because here's the thing. All right,
it's a saga now.
You
really.
and I,
the Morta saga.
You and I in Seoul, South Korea, a year ago.
Yep.
Went up to this kid and we said, hey, how do we pronounce your name? And what did he say?
Morty.
He said Morty. He told us to pronounce it Morty. And then every time we saw him after that, we asked him, how do you pronounce your name? And what did he say?
Morty.
He said Morty, right? Including yesterday, we asked him how to pronounce his name and he said
Morty.
Morty, exactly. But today,
it's been modified.
This morning, we find out that he has decided that people will pronounce his name the way he always intended as of today, which is Morte. So there you go.
It's all right. We've laid this one to rest
Morte.
now.
That's right.
I
guess that's it. There's no changing now. You cannot change your pronunciation anymore. It is Morty, and you're going to stick with it from now on. Morte.
Morte. You already messed
Whatever.
up.
I don't know. You do it for a whole year, and then he changes it on us. This kid.
Well, going out to the rest of
lucky he's a good player.
The Dutch team. I'm really interested to see, the Dutch touched on a little bit, but Crusade has been playing on Lucio for the last 6 months, done very well on the transition over to Laser Kittens right now.
Yeah, absolutely.
But he's told us when we were talking to them that he's excited to go back to more of the flex off-tank role because it gives him an opportunity to show the breadth of his skills, that he's not just a Lucio player, but with some off-rolling on the Netherlands side could be a bit tricky for them. They've been practicing over in Europe, but a lot also with their teams for contenders, so there may be a little bit of adjustment time needed. We'll see if Poland's able to score any maps in an upset as we move to Numbani for our first map.
Starting things off with Numbani for our hybrid map. Of course, you can see on the screen we're going to move to Control, Assault, Escort. After that, the loser gets to choose the next map. The highest seed coming in gets to choose the first one. And so it is Numbani.
And so it will go.
And so it shall be, so on and so on. I have proclaimed.
I'm interested to see Numbani. It's actually one of the maps that we've seen less of over the course of the Overwatch World Cup. A lot of teams shying away from that map, but I really like it. I think you've got a lot of ways to attack and defend, even though you typically see those high ground defenses. But when it comes to making adjustments to how you dive or protect that high ground, can lead to a lot of early team composition switches.
Yeah. Well, it's a fun map because you do get to see a lot of creativity on this map, I think more than some of the other ones. And here we go, we're on to Nimbani. Looks like Poland on the attack, Netherlands on the defense as we get things started here for our very first match of the Overwatch World Cup here in Katowice, Poland. You and I have been here 3 times already. This is our third time.
It's our third time here.
That's right. A couple IEMs, and here we are for the World Cup. And we haven't had any organic oil, though. Haven't drank any of that, but we're not robots.
We're not robots, so I don't think we're going to need that lubrication anytime soon, though.
I don't think so.
Internal lubrication, at least.
That's a whoa! What are you? I told you never to speak of this. I'm not taking you to Shay to Genie later. That's the Shez to Jean.
Your French is
my
amazing.
Spanish is not very good, or my French. I'm just going to speak Korean from now on.
All right.
We're not going to cast the Korean guys today, though.
That's all right. We'll get to it. So
right.
With the Netherlands on the defense, Dante will be on the high ground with Morta. So we're not going to see any kind of Ana play right here. A lot of ease of repositioning, though, to protect the soldier. Facility will be playing on the high ground, and Poland looks like we're going to see much the same thing. So
that's right. Danya coming up with the Soldier 76.
Yeah, it's creeping up right there, and they're actually going to split up and try and come across. Yona in the choke point, though.
I like the idea of sending the Zenyatta and the Soldier up there because you can burn through the Winston pretty quick that way. He's going to escape. Oh, he can't escape. Jonah does go down. Good start for Poland. They've got a couple kills to start things off, and Netherlands struggling a little bit here as Crusade almost popped out of that Diva suit, and I think we might be in for a pretty quick point A take here.
Yeah, they're actually going to start working on it right away. So the dive worked. Danya with a sneaky flank caught just the Winston on that side of the map and able to execute him as he flies back across the map. Very fast point A take for the Polish side.
Yeah, that was much quicker than I think people were expecting here. Moth now on that Diva, kind of the forward vanguard, along with Too Easy. Or not Too Easy, along with Matt Boy. Just to kind of keep an eye on when the defenses of Netherlands are coming back up again.
Yeah, what worked really well about that dive was they had a coordinated attack on the point, bringing the Diva up to block a lot of the damage with the defensive matrix, and now they're just going to keep on rolling this with this cart right now.
Yeah, they're going to try. I mean, they're not really being slowed down at all here. Not yet.
Now, very difficult to defend between point A and B. They're going to launch the Transcendence out and attack.
Wow, and Danya pops attack visor as well. They're going in and kills again for Poland. Just steamrolling over the Netherlands yet more. Facility tries to stand his ground. Smartly doesn't use his ultimate. He knows the fight's already lost, but man, Poland is just crushing the Netherlands in this first map.
And it was just great coordination again. Poland showing a lot of discipline on these approaches, coming out with the Transcendence and only committing really with the tactical visor as well as part of the cleanup. So very smooth movement through the map so far.
Very good. Netherlands coming back in, but they can't even get there in time to stop them from taking point B. And Crusade gets a little bit ahead of the rest of his team and gets taken out. The coordination for Netherlands has just not been there in this round at all.
No, it hasn't. They need to actually stabilize right now, especially with nearly 6 minutes that they have to hold here on point C. Setrox gonna get focused down a little bit. Will be able to jump back to his healers.
Well, good luck, man. I mean, the payload's still moving. There we go. They finally slow it down just a little bit. We'll see what Matt Boy can get with this pulse bomb here once the Transcendence is done. Netherlands going in. There's
gets a nice one.
He gets Morty and Jonah with that. Oh, man, Matt Boy just tearing it up. And Poland, man, I did not expect these guys to come out looking so strong in their first attack round. They've got a lot of talent on this team, obviously, but I didn't expect it to be this one-sided.
Well, Netherlands also throwing away some key ultimates right there, not getting any value out of the Transcendence or the Tac Visor.
Yeah.
Payload keeps moving here, even though we can see extended holds on this point C. Poland has not really been stopped at all going through the map so far.
I mean, even if Poland does get pushed back a little bit here, they should feel pretty comfortable. There's a self-destruct coming in. Might catch a couple of that. Doesn't actually. The Netherlands do get a couple kills. Transcendent comes in, perhaps a bit late for Schlapaisos, but it doesn't really matter a whole lot. Poland's got tons of time to build up some ultimates again, and there's really not a whole lot of pressure on these guys.
No, there's not. Danye keeps on circling back up onto the high ground right now, trying to get that advantage one more time. Too Easy is waiting up here on the high ground, watching, lurking from the other side. Not going to hear those footsteps, but he's going to hit him with the Helix Rocket.
Nice reaction with Danya taking down Too Easy. He's going to get finished off by Jonah, but that doesn't really stop Team Netherlands, or Team Poland rather, too much. There we go. Oh, that pulse bomb not getting a whole lot from Matt Boy. But he is putting the pressure on from both sides at least. So Poland will see if they can kind of pull ahead here. Not this time. as Netherlands commits quite a bit. Still a few ults to work with, and they're looking a bit more stable now. I mean, the efficiency with the ults has been better in the last couple minutes, finally.
Yeah, absolutely has. Finally, we see the Netherlands side trying to entrench themselves in that high ground, get some of those crucial pickoffs, even though they did trade 1-for-1 spawn timers, and location really favoring the Dutch right now.
Oh, yeah.
And so they're able to defend. Yona gets a lot of use and effect out of his Primal Rage in that last fight. They're just going to push through on the low ground right now. Pretty straightforward attack coming through from Poland.
Yeah. Poland pushing up the middle. There's the attack visor a little bit early. Crusade backs away. I think you saw the attack visor was down for the moment anyway. Self-destruct used as well by Moth, but Poland needing to back off a bit here. That was a bit scattered, a little bit too easy for Netherlands to back away and just kind of wait it out.
Well, they did actually force the Transcendent out by using the attack visor, so a crucial support ult is down, and this has been a poking game for the most part from Poland. They wait for those initial picks to come, and they are coming.
Yeah, Poland getting a couple. Danya having to back off a little bit. And that should be the delay for Poland. So the thing is this third point on Nimbani, I mean, you do see this a lot, where the first 2 points, point A can be very snowbally or very, one-sided sometimes. And then if that happens, generally point B goes very quickly as well. But then you do see a lot of these holds on point C.
Yeah, absolutely do. Difficult to stop this map, even with an excessive time bank like we've seen some from Poland. They're going to come through the Transcendence right now and use it immediately.
All right, they're diving in, trying to push Netherlands all the way back to their spawn. There's a self-destruct, doesn't catch anybody, but too easy, rocking people in the back lines. Netherlands really kind of dominating here on point C, and things have started to fall apart a little bit for Poland.
Yeah, and we really need to see for Poland more D.Va protection onto their back line right now. They have Moth on that D.Va, and they're going to split spawn him right now, stagger the kill. But coming back onto these points, we need to see more protection because too easy, they're walking in as a 6-man unit right onto the cart, just making the most simple approach possible, and Too Easy's getting that flank, and there's nobody there with the defensive matrix to really protect those back line.
Yeah. I mean, the worrying thing is now for the last few pushes, we haven't really seen any sort of adaptation from Poland, and here they go again, kind of the same ground level attack, just trying to push forward.
There's Too Easy again.
Used for Poland, yeah, and they got to deal with Too Easy in the back lines. Netherlands dives onto the cart once more. Poland kind of falling apart a bit here. Transcendence for Netherlands now. We'll see if that keeps enough people up. And yeah, it looks like Too Easy is still getting those kills in the back line, and there just doesn't seem to be anything Poland can do to stop him.
The last 3 pushes have been stuffed by Too Easy because they're not playing around the threat. He's been zipping back all the way to the previous point, when necessary, using the rewind on Tracer, and that's allowing him to get these angles. He's playing patient, and he realizes that any kind of engage Poland makes, they're not protecting their supports afterwards. So you have to try and set up again. Only 1:20 left for Poland to make this work, and Netherlands coming in with a much bigger ult bank.
A crowd getting into it now, trying to support the home team as Poland tries to finish their attack round here on Nimbani. They need to dig deep. They don't have a ton to work with in the ult category. Netherlands way ahead, and here's Too Easy again in the back. They really need like Schlepeistos to come up big on this Zenyatta and chase it back. Pulse comes in. How in the world did nobody die from that? Well, Crusade gets a couple kills anyway, so things going fine for Netherlands either way.
Yeah, zoning them into the self-destruct. Everybody scattering away from the pulse bomb, but that actually leaves them open to the D.Va ultimate, and they're going to get another stagger kill right here. Moth trying to run for the edge, but gets bumped back and then killed by Too Easy.
Man. Poland just doesn't seem to have an answer. And, you know, the thing is, we've seen Zenyatas in this tournament and other tournaments around the world get very, very good at taking out the Tracer in the backline. But in this round, at least, it doesn't look like Schlepeistos is really ready to handle that.
Yeah, he's been having trouble zoning him out. And that time they tried to commit Danya, too, to getting rid of Too Easy from the fight. Was working, but nobody on the low ground did. Too Easy nearly one-clips the Zenyatta.
That was so close, man. He had to burn the Transcendence, actually. They need to use this. Poland going in. They run into the sound barrier of the Netherlands, and Crusade already with a kill on the tank here. Too Easy. Casual pulse bomb. He can use it anytime. May not even need it. Probably just going to throw it in for fun there. Tanya pulls out the Dragon Blade, but it doesn't matter. His whole team's dead, and it looks like Netherlands going to hold right here.
Yeah, they are just going to hold with 54 meters towards point C. So they make a concerted effort, but Netherlands fell apart at the beginning, found their groove, though, found the points of weakness in the Polish backline, and then held them for 6.
I
haven't heard that one in a while.
I know. I was inspired.
I can tell.
Well, Poland, a strong start on point A and point B. really well coordinated attack, I think, at the beginning of their attack round, but things fell apart in point C. And yeah, we do see that a lot on Nimbani, but the worrying thing is they weren't able to handle 2Es in the back. And that seems like kind of a basic thing you should be ready for in Overwatch these days, is that Tracer being annoying back there.
Well, 2Easy's been having very good performances recently, even though he has been bouncing around professional teams.
Sure.
But I think on an individual level, he has been solid. And we see that. And sometimes you have to commit your diva just to camping a backline Tracer on those flanks, because otherwise your team is not going to live long enough, and you're not going to get the necessary healing to complete a push.
Sure enough.
But there's still a lot of opportunities here, obviously, for Poland. Full hold still definitely a chance for them. And they looked very disciplined on their attacks, where they were committing to on some of the at least the initial point on the hybrid map. But from there, they were not really making great use of the high ground as they came in to the final point of the map.
I mean, as you can see on the screen right there, that Netherlands pretty much has to push it all the way. They nearly have to get 3 points themselves to win this map, so a lot of room for Poland to stop things. The big point we're going to want to see them stop it at is point A. If point A gets taken, nearly impossible to hold point B, and then if you're dealing with a point C hold in this situation, then you're a little bit worried, because that payload didn't actually move that far through the point.
Just around the corner. So
yeah. So I think if you're Poland right now, you're really hoping for a point A hold here.
Yeah, you definitely are. And Netherlands will be using Facility on the Genji this time. So high ground dive composition. We'll watch where Yona, Crusade, and Facility are going to move up right now. It is 2Easy on the low ground flank.
Yeah.
And everybody else coming through the central choke point along the road.
Facility just poking away, as you often do on the Genji, getting the backlines a little bit. They're going to send him in with the Winston
2Easy's already down there on the supports.
Wow, Poland split up a little bit here. Point A being taken very quickly. Man, the pressure just pushed Poland right off the point, and now they're the ones fighting the offensive battle, trying to get back to point A. Netherlands has the defensive advantage.
Yeah, but Facility also died early on, so Danya going to clean up Dante. It's not confusing at all.
Nope, not at all. 2Easy has to retreat.
That was a good setup for the Netherlands, but Poland reacted well by falling back and protecting the support. So looks like they've made some adjustments in terms of their shot calling about where that diva is going to be, because it was well coordinated. They poked up, forced them onto the bridge, and then 2Easy was already on the low ground behind the bridge when the Genji and Winston of the Netherlands pushed them back down onto that low ground. Could have been a very fast, quick pick, but this time Poland will defend their backline.
It was definitely a rough moment. I mean, they did get 2/3 of the control meter. Only that final tick needed for Netherlands to take point A. They're going to dive in deep. Facility has a Dragon Blade, low health though as well. 2Easy, meanwhile, just trying to find targets. Facility had to back away, and now they're a little bit scattered here. Yeah, Poland getting the kills. Looks like it's going to be another hold for the moment.
Yeah, they are just pushing them back off the points again. Netherlands has been so close to getting a pick to start off these fights, but Poland has stayed strong, and that means there's never been a man advantage here for the Dutch side, and they keep getting foiled.
It's been kind of a surprising attack to watch, actually, because the approaches are so good. The engages look so good from the Netherlands right now, but they're just not able to finish the kills and get those picks.
It's been really close, but yeah, that's good. That means that at least for Poland, that they're trying to adjust from the previous attack round, and that's going to be a nano-boosted Dragon Blade.
All right, meanwhile, Facility pulls out his Dragon Blade. Doesn't get it with the Sleep Dart. Crucial there. Crusade, though, does get the kill into Danya. Facility needs to come up big. And one kill on Shlepaisos may not be enough. Netherlands is slowly grinding ahead here for the moment, though. Poland with the last-ditch effort. Remember, it's only that last tick. They've nearly got point A right here, right now. They do take it. So finally, Netherlands finishes it off. A little bit less time to work with point B, but you usually expect to take this one pretty quickly.
I mean, that was really close, and we didn't get to see the kill on how Crusade actually took out Danya while he was nano-boosted using his Dragon Blade, but crucial. And even though it was just that single kill onto Shlepaisos from Facility, it was enough, cut off the healing, and that allowed them just to stay on the point without any kind of HP regeneration. And now, see 2Easy poking again from the flank. That will be a pulse bomb that will de-suit the diva. Not quite, actually.
Yeah. You need to get a little bit more damage in than the pulse bomb. It looks like he wasn't quite able to do it. 2Easy not getting a lot with his own pulse bomb, but at least enabling some kills for the Netherlands as they push forward here. Looks like a pretty smooth push at the moment. As soon as they pop Moth out of that mech.
Yeah, but
Take out the other tank too. Wow, Dante just fragging out on the Zenyatta.
I mean, the thing about Poland, though,
Nice.
is that they are actually stalling the cart right now, which is something the Netherlands weren't able to do in this phase. So by throwing themselves onto a 1-by-1, they burned 1 minute off the clock already, and we're still only hitting around the second turn after the point. So there's going to be another opportunity for defense here from Poland.
They really do need to get it stopped soon. Looks like they're going to actually let point B. No, they get it right before point B finishes here. Nice high ground advantage for Dante, able to fire down with that Zenyatta. He's got the Transcendence if they need to. Poland goes in with the sound barrier. That's going to cause the Transcendence to come out for the Netherlands. They try to stuff the attack, the defensive attack from Poland. Pulsebomb not going to get a whole lot here. And finally, Yona may be able to scatter Poland enough to create some picks for 2easy. He's trying to take advantage of it.
I mean, this whole
There we
time, though,
go.
Danya has had control of the high ground and is just raining a shower of bullets onto the cart. Eventually, that problem's going to be solved. But again, a long time has been burned from the clock as they go there. That final attack wasting another 30, 45 seconds of the Netherlands' time as they're trying to push.
It's still 3:30 though. A lot of time left for Netherlands on the clock. Poland needs to dig deep now and hold for just a bit longer. They can't really let the payload go too much farther forward.
Yeah, and also they lost a lot of ultimates in that fight. So Poland needs to win this fight at an ult disadvantage. And 2easy
boy.
takes out Danya immediately.
That's pretty disastrous for Poland. His Facility pulls out the Dragon Blade too, looking for that kill onto Cetrox. Nearly has him. He's so low. There's the kill. Crusade picking that one up. And Poland again, just kind of streaming 1-by-1 onto the point. It's a delay, but they need to actually win a fight here, and it doesn't look like it's happening.
2easy has been such a huge difference maker for the Netherlands in this map so far. Gets all of the crucial initial picks, and that's going to lead to this cart eventually getting to its payload home.
Yeah,
And that's going to be it.
They grind it forward, and Netherlands will take the win here on Nimbani.
It seems like, at least for Poland, they had that strong initial attack and couldn't quite finish out the map. They made some adjustments, but it wasn't enough. Netherlands came into that final curve with a huge ultimate advantage, and still 3.5 minutes left.
Yeah. This is going to be interesting, actually. I mean, with how Netherlands kind of gave up quite a bit quite quickly on their defensive round, I think this one might end up actually being pretty close.
Well, they also struggled, Netherlands, on the initial point attack. They barely squeezed out the take. It could have easily been a full hold for Poland right there that were reacting. Poland was really playing well around the point, and this makes me wonder if, as we move into, say, assault and control, they're going to be more favorable for Poland, because they struggled with when they were actually moving the cart, attacking and defending. But around the point itself was their strongest level of play.
I wonder. I mean, we are going to that control map next, so that'll be an opportunity to sort of put that to the test and see if Poland can even up the series here.
And also worth noting that that was, of course, the Netherlands map selection. So now we're going to see what Poland wants to play on. And
I wonder.
Yeah, they made it quite close.
Yeah.
Even with a map that they may not have wanted to play, although who knows, Nimbani could have also conveniently been their best hybrid map. We don't know that, but
You never know. Well, it's Group E is interesting because, of course, you've got this juggernaut in South Korea, right? Which everybody expects to take first in the group. I think that's a very reasonable expectation based on how these guys perform. That's not, overestimating a team at all. So the battle really is for second place. And, Poland, Netherlands, Austria, it seems kind of up for grabs. Maybe you'd put Poland and Netherlands a little bit above Austria on the initial sort of look at these teams. But there's a lot of room for things to move around for that second place spot this week.
and we've seen so many upsets. I mean, we're coming out of a Sydney stage where not many people
Japan,
expected Japan to do well.
Dude.
There's a lot of expectation on the Finnish national team that really underperformed. So there have been so many surprises, both at a team and even more so, I think, at an individual player level so far, that it's a little early to be counting anything else.
I mean, that's the awesome thing about the World Cup is, as we look at some of these highlights from the first map, is that you've got these situations. Oh, hey, it's me again. Double Doa.
Double
Double the excitement. But
How can you talk twice at the same time, Doa?
I'm amazing. I'm like a ventriloquist and a caster at the same time. Only I am my own dummy.
Wow. Well, I won't argue with that.
It's incredible. It's incredible, really. Lijiang Tower moving right along. Lijiang Tower going to be the second map.
You said it, not me.
Hey, well, I am both. That's like, I think, an example of being in perfect control of oneself if you are both ventriloquist and dummy.
I believe that is an old Zen Buddhist koan.
I think so. Be therefore dummy and ventriloquist. Speak through yourself and through the little self sitting on your lap.
Yep.
Yeah.
Nailed it.
Got it. Yep. Pretty sure I read that somewhere. Lijiang Tower going to be our second map here. It's a fake fish pond. Those aren't real fish.
That's because all the fish are dead in the future, Doa.
Oh,
global warming, yeah.
We know there's birds, though. Birds on Ilios, at least. In a world where only pigeons exist. And gorillas.
Well, on the moon. They were preserved on the moon.
That's true. Overwatch is only pigeons and gorillas, I guess. Here we go. Starting things off on Gardens already. Moth on the Pharah this time. Looks like the pharmacy coming out for Poland. Netherlands running a bit more standard of a dive comp.
Yeah, of course, we do often see the pharmacy on Gardens trying to make some space, see if we get a lucky knockoff with that concussive blast.
Yeah.
It's a lot of poking, though. As we've seen, Poland said they wanted to play a more reserve style.
Dante.
They are playing that reserve style, and that's a nice kill.
Yeah, Poland taking the early lead here. They are the blue team this time around. Netherlands kind of trapped on that bridge. So dangerous. There's a concussion grenade. No kills out of that, but Moth does force Netherlands back pretty effectively.
Well, Schlepeistos did die late in that fight to 2 easy, so there is going to be an opportunity here for the Netherlands to rush in, trying to spam that bridge right now. They look like they want to come across it with that defensive matrix anyway and engage as fast as they can.
Yeah, no quick res for Poland either, which might come in handy for the Netherlands to capitalize on. Moth, though, just completely untouched. I mean, Netherlands doesn't really have anybody that can deal with this Pharah right now. They need a soldier or something.
Well, yeah, they just don't have...
Oh, Mortigado. Dante got booped. Whoops.
And Dante really struggling with dealing with this far in the back line. Typically, if you have that Zenyatta, you can use that Orb of Discord, swap over to a soldier, and you're going to be in good shape. Netherlands, though, they're not actually going to bite right now. 2 easy. Did use the Pulse Bomb, but he's staying on the Tracer, at least for the moment.
We've been seeing Dante just try to come across that bridge by himself with Zenyatta, which is always a great way to die. Netherlands striking in now with that sound barrier. Getting a little bit of the control meter built up. They nearly got the point flipped. And wow, Facility just rocking people's faces with that Dragon Blade. Didn't get to really see it, but man, he pretty much destroyed Poland. But at the same time, Poland able to actually hold on to this.
Yeah, so
finally it gets flipped, but they bought themselves another, 5-7% or so.
And Schlepeistos wasn't in the right place either. He was trying to power up this Pharah, and so couldn't get close enough to actually use the Resurrection. Dies at the end of the fight all the same. So Poland still working with quite a few ultimates, though. Can pop the res on this next one. Self-destruct, be how they engage. Another one comes through on the other side.
Yeah, no kills from either of those. Meanwhile, Moth does drop the barrage. A little bit of damage onto Yona. Yona, though, hopping up. He's got that Primal Rage, can't survive it, though. And Netherlands taking the edge in this fight early on. There's the res, though, coming in from Schlepeistos. This is Poland's chance to strike back, but immediately Netherlands responding with even more kills, and they're just pushing Poland back to spawn.
Yeah, that was too many people isolated across the bridge without support. So nice target selection from the Netherlands. They are able to stuff the Resurrection and keep that point under control. Nearly at 50% right now. It's been a back and forth map in terms of the actual control percent.
Yeah.
And Poland used a lot of their ults right there.
Oh, Matt Boy, I think that ended up going onto the shield just at the last moment. Yona does go down either way. Poland slowly grinding their way back. See if they can keep the kills coming here. Netherlands falling back to the point, but they're a little bit scattered here. And now Facility coming in with the Dragon Blade. He's got the Transcendence to keep him safe too. And so Netherlands looks like they're going to hold it in the end, despite Poland's attempt to flip this point.
Matt Boy right there thought he was going to be safe because he was being followed by a Diva with the defensive matrix, but it was a good dash from Facility on that Genji to cut him down and make sure that the DPS was cut off and sent back to spawn.
Yeah.
And now everybody going to be resetting.
It can be, if you're running the pharmacy, it can be tricky to retake this point. I mean, you really want to grab it early and then hold people off with the rockets. It's hard to be aggressive and get to the point with that pharmacy.
Yeah, it absolutely is.
Yeah, we're seeing that now. Too easy coming in. Pulse Bomb gets eaten, though. They've got that sound barrier to try to keep the kills going, though. Barrage, not really getting anything for Moth at all. Both barrages not really accomplishing a whole lot for Poland. They're on the point, they're struggling. They really need Matt Void to get a little bit more, maybe. I don't know if that's going to happen, though. Yeah, we're into OT already. Netherlands with 99% here. Poland with the sound barrier on just 2 people as they try to keep the map going, just trying to hold off long enough for the respawns to come in. And they do. Poland getting people back to the point. So Paisto's pretty close to the res.
Tuizi's just cleaning them up, and they can't get back on the point fast enough. So Netherlands turns it on its head. Strong early capture from Poland, but like you say, Doa, when you're running that Farmer-C combo, it's about controlling the choke points on that map because you have so much vertical space that the fall-off damage from hit scans is really not as impactful, but you can just continuously bombard the bridges.
Yeah.
And although that was successful at first, as you noted, difficult to retake, especially if the Mercy is covering the Pharah at that time, because if everybody dies on the point, you've got 2 people who are back, it turns into a 6 versus 4, and somebody has to go down there and contest it.
To be fair, the Netherlands were doing a very good job of shutting down Schlepaistos and like keeping him from getting in a position to build a lot of ult charge to begin with, and then once he had res, keeping him from getting in a good position to use it. So here we go on the night market. Remember, these are best of 3 control maps. If Netherlands can win this round, they will take the map and go up 2-0 in this series. Poland getting pushed back a little bit already. Netherlands, they ran forward so quickly, and they were able to get that early angle to sort of force Poland back. That said, Madfoy does pick up the first kill of the round. Netherlands needs to play it a bit safe.
Maybe have gotten too quickly. They get a D-suit, but that's not a major victory for the Madfoy. And Tuizi battling on the point, but Schlepaistos will ruin the 1v1 and pick up the kill.
Yeah. Poland on the point. Looks like they're going to take it. All right, so an early lead for Poland here on Night Market. I mean, it's what we saw in Gardens, too. They were able to get that early fight win and get the control percent rolling first. But holding it once they lost it, or retaking it, I should say, once they lost it, that's where things kind of became a bit of a struggle for these guys.
Well, we are seeing mirrored compositions this time, so they will be able to fight and dive in that close range. That said, D-suited D.Va is the first target.
Of course, pretty easy target. Madboy does get the kill on Morta, though.
Facility, that was really close,
HP. Man. That ninja was nearly toast.
Tuizi going to come around on Schlepaistos right now. Doesn't need to use the pulse bomb, crucially, in order to get the kill.
All right, well, Tuizi, the roaming killer. The silent kill. Well, he's not very silent, is he? I mean, Tracer really does kind of shout a lot of stuff.
Shout a lot of stuff, makes noise when she blinks.
Yeah. All right, Dragon Blade time. Facility pulls it out. 1 kill already on the tank. Moth, you can't absorb the blade. And Poland finds themselves kind of short man on the point here. Looks like it's going to be a quick flip for Netherlands.
They still get to 55% though, and only down really a self-destruct. Everybody else coming up on their ultimate, so Poland has a big opportunity to use that Dragon Blade to try and push through and recapture. As long as they can bait out Dante's Transcendence, we'll have an opening.
Optimistic pulse bomb from Tuizi here, but it's all about keeping Poland back. It's all about building that percentage now since Netherlands just took it.
Well, he did get the damage down, but onto the D.Va, but not quite enough, of course, to fully force the D-suit.
Yeah.
Just healing up on the other side. Dante does get a very important pickoff onto Danya. Takes out the Genji, so that'll delay Poland's attack.
Feels good, man. Netherlands with some ults to use, too. You gotta be efficient. Poland coming in with a big ult bank of their own. Gonna start with the sound barrier here as they dive in. Self-destruct's used. Ooh, Crusade picks up a crucial kill on Cetrox. There's a Transcendence from Poland, but they're down a tank already. Meanwhile, Danya does pick up a couple kills with the Dragon Blade, so it's pretty even off the bat, but Netherlands, in the end, pulling ahead in this fight. It looked like a good start for Poland, but Netherlands hold strong.
They do, and they're trying to get back onto the point still. Making an attempt there. They do manage to flip it, but that quickly goes back the other direction. And Poland, that was a huge commitment when it comes to ultimates. Netherlands much more disciplined with their ult economy.
I mean, the only reason Cetrox still has his ult on the Poland side is that he died before he could use it, really.
Yeah, Facility going to have the Dragon Blade right now. No protective support ultimates for Poland, so Facility has a big opportunity to deal damage.
Yep, coming in now. Morte with the early kill on the tank, though. That's a big one for Netherlands to start things off. Wow, both supports fragging out on the Netherlands side as we watch Facility waiting for a moment to pull out that Dragon Blade, but it doesn't look like he's really even going to need it here.
No,
he's a bit low.
Great discipline. He is just hopping right back into the healing field from the Lucio. Knowing that this ulting Winston from Cetrox isn't going to be able to do any true damage.
Not a whole lot.
Back off until the Primal Rage ends. And now it's time for the Dragon Blade.
Oh, dude, there's no defense at all for the members of Poland on the point. And Netherlands up to 99%. They are going to take the map. And that is going to be that for Lijiang Tower.
That is, and you know, Doa, that was another instance where we really see Netherlands having a good ult economy and Poland struggling to keep up with it.
Yeah. I don't know. What can you say? I mean, at this point, it's been to, you know, well, I want to say Nimbani was a bit closer than Lijiang Tower was. Lijiang Tower, you know, was pretty definitively Netherlands' map once they got that retake. Poland was able to grab the point first both times, but they just had a really hard time retaking it once they lost it.
It seems like when we think about Nimbani and we think about the way that Lijiang Tower played out, that they're very good if they have time to set up that initial attack. But once they have to adapt on the fly, they seem to be having some communication issues where they can't really adapt in real time to the game to what the Netherlands is doing, and only when we have these breaks are they able to make the necessary adjustments.
Yeah, so we are going to have a little bit of a moment here for these guys to regroup, right? We're going to have a little bit of a break so that, you know, maybe Poland can kind of dig a bit deeper, find a way to come back in the series. It is a 4-game series, so if Netherlands wins one more map, they are going to be the winner of the series, but Poland still with a good chance, I would say.
Well,
to tie
every
things up.
map matters too, as we've noticed so far in the World Cup. It makes a massive difference what your map score is.
All right. Well, Lijiang Tower down, Nimbani down. Our next map is going to be the assault map here too. So Poland with, you know, we thought maybe these guys would, you know, be a little bit better at fighting on the point because of how we saw things go on point A. Nimbani didn't seem to come through quite as much. But what would you say the main takeaway for Poland is here? What do they need to work on coming into match?
They need to be able to adapt better in game. It seems like when they have a breather between maps or between points, they are able to readjust, but they can't seem to fully do that in game, whereas Netherlands seeming a bit more fluid. Also, just be more conservative, I think, with their ult economy. Try and get the proper engages down and chain their ults together because they've had big advantages and haven't been able to capitalize.
All right, well, let's throw it back to the desk to see what they've got to say about those first 2 maps.
Thank you so much, guys. And Netherlands, if you're just joining us, are up 2-0 against Poland here in our opening matchup of the day. Guys, this is certainly, I would say, kudos to Poland on a good start in Nimbani. Definitely did not expect that coming into it. James, looked like they were rolling right through.
Yeah, they definitely did, and we do see a lot of teams struggling on that final point of Nimbani, but the way they started off on their offense looked fantastic, and of course, on their hold on point A initially up against Netherlands, I mean, they burned off about 2.5 minutes up against them, but it looked like towards the end they did struggle to figure out what their game plan was, and it was kind of the same story also in Lijiang.
Yeah, I think, I mean, on Nimbani, it might have been the Netherlands didn't really give Poland as much credit as credit is due to them. They were, I don't want to say wasting some ults, but they used them a bit more careless. We had the Transcendence just kind of randomly being thrown in. A Visor also I saw, which kind of didn't do too much. And it continued like that up until the last point where they started to be a bit more careful about their ult economy.
Yeah, I just think Netherlands had like such good control throughout the series, really. And when they established that on the 3rd point of Nimbani, I mean, Poland just struggled, but they came out good, Poland. I mean, they took positioning really well on the 1st point of Nimbani. They played a slow, tactical approach, and they kind of snowballed off on the 2nd point. But yeah, Netherlands, very firm, solid defense.
Yeah, I was actually really impressed with Visility as well. He had some good moments there where he was really able to shine on the Genji. Yeah, I mean, even in the Lijiang game, I think it was, he got like a 3K with one swipe or something like that. Yeah. Pretty good so far. So not bad. One thing I will say, and this is, I guess, more about tanks here, Reinforced. I want to get your thoughts here. I had noticed that there was a lot of weird ult usage for the Poland side there. You know, do you think that was just like fat fingering? Or?
No, not really. I think on the 3rd point you're referencing to, on Nimbani, yes. Well, Netherlands kind of pushed up to the payload, but Poland captured the 2nd point. So you know, Poland was trying to get to those stagger kills because Netherlands was so close. So you wanna ult. I mean, your leap is 1.5 second cooldown, so you can just like go wherever you want to, really.
Yeah.
So you're just diving into the spawn of Netherlands, trying to get those pickoffs, those kills, because you get a lot of time. You know, Netherlands have to set up. It takes 10 more seconds, and you get some good push of that.
Yeah, it really seemed like they were hungry for the kills, which,
Yes.
sometimes it's a good thing or, maybe a bad thing. Who knows? But I do agree with your assessment there. All right, so then moving on to Li Zheng. This was a much different beast here. Netherlands looked very strong coming out of the gate.
Yeah, I mean, Poland was the team which captured first. However, they just weren't able to actually hold on to those points. Every time they lost them, they couldn't regroup or position themselves or even engage in the right ways to actually take that point back. And I think that goes back to maybe a lack of coordination and also a lack of adapting to what the Netherlands team is actually playing.
Yeah, on Garden, we did see that we did have the Pharah swap off. Martha, who was playing the Diva before, swapped off onto Pharah, and that had to force Danya over onto the Diva. And it looked like Danya was struggling just a little bit with that Diva, his defense matrix timings. And it goes to show that experience can really pay out here. And we saw the experience of Netherlands really taking hold there, especially with 2Easy, really going off on that Tracer, coming up with some really clutch moments.
Yeah, well, I just think that Poland stayed on the Pharah for way too long there. I mean, it's a nice pick to bring out, especially with the Mercy. I mean, you can kind of play around a single Pharah. His 200 HP is pretty easy to deal with. But when you bring out the Mercy as well, I mean, there's just so much sustain on the side of Poland. So, but I think they stayed on the Pharah Mercy a bit too long. It was really hard to retake. I mean, swap off to Danya's Genji. He's known for his Genji. So, you get cleaner dives, easier to retake the point.
Yeah, I mean, Netherlands really did a good job in focusing down Schlepheistos. Did I say the name right? I'm not entirely sure. Schlep. I call him Schlep now. That sounds awkward, but okay. No, I think they did a really good. Thanks. I think they did a really good job in focusing down at Mercy and really making it even harder for Matt on that Pharah. And I mean, his two barrages didn't really do too much.
No, it pretty much just forced a Winston ult, and a Winston ult doesn't hold a lot of value. Unfortunately, not for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
They're
pretty
there.
bad. Yeah, it's not fun.
So now we're getting ready for map 3 here. It's going to be Poland's pick, as you guys may know. Maybe you're joining us for the first time here for the Overwatch World Cup. The loser does pick the next map, and in this case, Poland will make the pick. And if you are a betting man, I would go with Horizon Lunar Colony. Am I wrong in making that assessment?
Do I take the spot of Flame now?
Yeah. You want the Flame
but Flame
spot?
was wrong pretty much all the time, right?
Yes,
That's what I've
There is
heard,
no
right?
right and wrong. We're not. That's not what it is about.
Oh, okay.
Oh, no, there is.
No,
There's a lot of
Let's always tell you otherwise.
I feel a lot of...
No, because if he picked Lunar and it wasn't Lunar, but they ended up losing, then he can still say they were wrong in not choosing Lunar because they could have won. I'm just saying, Flame and man, I got you back here.
Revisionist Overwatch.
So what do you think?
I'm not a betting man, Alex. I'm not a betting man. But if I was, I'd go with Horizon Lunar Colony.
Okay.
Simply because Poland is the underdog in this series, I think, and it's just easier to go onto a map where you think you're more level-headed with your opponent. So I'm going for Horizon Lunar Colony. Perhaps a mistake.
And James, I want to get your thoughts here on Poland. Can you see Danye bringing out the Reaper here? Because we've seen Reaper on Horizon quite a bit.
Yeah, he did say he was comfortable with the Reaper, and it is a really great point B, especially on point A, to bring out that Reaper, because you do have to play initially on point A really close quarters. You have very different avenues of attack, and going with the Horizon is much better than going with Volskaya, which does have some more, I guess, variables you could throw in there. You see the Sombra play often, which while you can play Sombra on Horizon, it's still a little bit difficult to play with, and teams really haven't fleshed out that kind of strategy yet.
Yeah, it's going to be very tough, I think, for Netherlands, because they have no idea, right? I mean, for all you know, hey, Poland could just go with standard, right? Maybe they throw something else completely out there that we don't even know about, right? Anything is possible.
Yeah, I hope they bring out the standard soldier play in this scenario, especially on attack. We saw them take the tactical approach on Umbani with the soldier, and I think it kind of suits Horizon Lunar Colony as well. I mean, on the first point, you take the high ground on the right side, and you have a lot of room to work with the soldier. And on the second point as well, I mean, if you go on the right side on attack, you have a lot of high ground to work with on the soldier. So if they take the same approach as they did on Numbani, I think they're going to have a good time.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure that's what they're hoping for, but how can Netherlands respond to this, Zoe?
I think if they just go with what they're comfortable with, they're going to have a pretty good time on Lunar. And generally, I feel like Lunar is one of those maps where you get punished quite heavily, fairly fast. Like if things aren't quite working out for you, it's way too easy to take that first point really quickly, and it's really hard to regroup and recover from a first mistake there. And then if the other team, which is attacking, snowballs from there, it's it can get punished to too hard
Yeah.
on Lunar. So I would very much hope to see both on comfort picks.
Yeah, and especially if you're playing the soldier like Facility did in the start of Nambani on defense, and they got rolled by Poland at the start. So if Netherlands opt for a Facility playing the soldier here, I'm not really going to agree with that. I don't like when they sit back that far. They did really well with when the Facility popped off on the Genji, so I want them to play that aggressive style, kind of take their engagements like they did.
Feels like they thrive when they're aggressive.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm if you're Netherlands, I think you need to play to your strengths. That's always a very important thing to do. Poland, of course, looking to get that first win would be huge for them, James.
Yeah.
If they're able to make this one happen. The crowd roaring for them when things, go their way, and certainly they don't want to disappoint in front of their hometown. But I did get word, though, that we are ready to go for this game. Game 3. It's going to be Poland's pick, and we're going to see what they go with. Over to you guys, Monte Cristo and Doha.
Hey, we're back. Doe and Monte Cristo here for part 2 of the Netherlands versus Poland. 2 more maps to decide if Poland can tie things up or if the Netherlands will get their first win here at the Overwatch World Cup group stage in Katowice, Poland. And I gotta say, Monty, I'm a little bit worried about Poland here.
I am too. They have to find an answer to 2EZ. Even against the Pharah, he was unwilling to switch off of the Tracer and instead preferring just to take the battles directly onto the point and dare that Pharah to come down and contest. And it will be Horizon Lunar Colony selected by Poland, a map that we saw a lot of in Shanghai and less of last week, or 2 weeks ago, I should say, in Sydney.
Yeah. It has been interesting, and it's been a fun map to watch too, because it's kind of the map that people have been experimenting the most on in this tournament. We've seen a lot of these Reaper strategies, we've seen a good amount of Torbjorn on there, and it's a new map, so you're gonna see people try some crazy stuff once in a while. Hashtag wait for Korea, hashtag.
Yeah.
It's gonna be fun though. I love this map.
Again, Poland is going to be utilizing on the defense, looks like the Ana Zenyatta combo. There we go.
Ana Zenyatta.
Ana Zenyatta combo. So typically what we've seen is when this combination is there, they play spread out on the high ground and try and find the Discord Orb targets and the Sleep Dart targets, and then have the rest of the team dive into the choke points in order to deal with it. So we do see that spread upper level defense from Poland right off the bat. As you say, there's been so many different styles of attack and defense on this map so far. It's quickly becoming one of my favorites in Overwatch.
Oh yeah, it's certainly got a lot of the most variation that we see out of maps these days. But we do see a lot of what Poland's doing, that wide spread out defense here on Point A. And as time has gone on, we've seen more teams be able to successfully full hold Point A, which early on in this map's history was kind of something people thought was really tough to do. But we're finding out now, it's with the proper strategy, it's doable.
Yeah, you can see playing with the terrain right here, but they are going to dive in onto the choke point.
All right. Zildi going in. But Morta dies very early. Another kill comes in. Matt Voy taken out by Vizility. 2EZ though, still free and clear on the side to poke as much as he wants, and he may have Cetrox in his sight. Looks like the monkey's going to get out just in time. But when things are all said and done, Poland holding pretty well.
Yeah, they are, and they're playing around the health pack right now, but they're still not going to actually pick up the kills, so they are going to hold on to it. And for the time being, Poland showing that discipline and the advantages you can get from playing that high ground. They need to all reset up onto the second level right now.
Yeah.
And get those sight lines through for the Ana and the Zenyatta, but a very nice initial defense by the Polish team.
And 2EZ lurking around the back again, trying to find those picks. Maybe he can find Katowice there. That's who he's looking for. This is Zenyatta, avoids it. 2EZ has to back away. That Orb of Discord is certainly dangerous, but Katowice hasn't really been, it seems like he hasn't really been using those right clicks to try to take down 2EZ. Meanwhile, Cetrox does get the kill on Nadate. Okay, that's a good start for Poland.
There's a back cap going on though, and now finally Matt Boy has to come and contest this. Does have an Orb of Transcendence on him, and they are going to clean him up just before he would get that first tick.
Ooh, that was
close.
So
a little bit interesting shot calling right there. Tried to get the Tracer on the back cap, but there wasn't enough time to quite get any progress, real progress done on the point for the Netherlands. In the meantime, Poland took the 6v5, won it, doubled back, and took 2EZ out. So the Dutch team to get it together right now. 2EZ's been holding onto that pulse bomb for a while, hasn't found the right opportunity yet to use it, and Szlapajsto's going to get slammed into the corner.
I believe I can fly. Well, you can fly if Winston's punching around, gets the Transcendence out for Team Poland. They're going to go back in for some kills. Morte does die on the Netherlands side, and despite that aggressive move from Netherlands, Poland going to continue to hold here.
Has not really been a lot of adaptation from the Netherlands either. Facility backing off with the biotic grenade on him and is going to have to get healed up and then reapproach one more time.
Yeah.
Poland continuously resetting onto the high ground, and they haven't found the necessary really weakness in the defense here.
Well, like we were saying, I mean, Point A is becoming much more full holdable as teams get better at these bigger defenses, these wider spread defenses like Poland's doing.
Nice sleep dart.
Facility hit with the 6 sleep dart from Tank. Well done on the side of Poland. Netherlands does grab a couple kills here, though, so it might be an
They got the
opportunity both
support, though. That is
Yeah.
absolutely huge. In that little room, the self-destruct doing some work, but it looks
Then
like
again-
they're going to be countered. Danya and Math getting kills of their own, so Poland will stabilize here. Only about 50 seconds remaining for the Netherlands.
Yeah, now the Netherlands are going to have more ults to work with what could conceivably be their last big attack. So it's kind of one last push with ults to try to make something happen here. They're going to have about 35 seconds or so when they go in. Yeah, I'm going to be right about now. Facility has a Dragon Blade, yeah, coming in. Oh, but there's a Nano Boost onto Cetrox on the other side, and Madboy gets a kill into Dante early on. Sound Barrier comes out for Netherlands now, but they're already down to support. They do strike back in Facility. If he can get this kill into Shapaisos, that would help out a lot. But Moth, meanwhile, cleaning things up for Poland, and it looks like Netherlands is just maybe going to get full hold here.
They might very well.
Well, actually, coming back with some late kills.
Yeah, Facility
things around.
Facility distracting them off in the baby diva form cut down, so barely
Ooh, wow.
in the nick of time in what will be overtime. Netherlands looks like they are going to be able to cap Point A, but that was so dicey. Facility didn't get a lot of value out of that Dragon Blade.
That was so close.
Yeah, it was extremely close overall. Poland is going to be switching up their composition yet again, going for the Lucio. Don't necessarily want that Ana. You want the AoE healing on the point, and also hard for Ana sometimes to get through choke points if the enemy team is already attacking Point B.
All right, well, Netherlands has to go in fast here. They've only got about 3:30 to take this Point B, and Point B is the one on Lunar Colony that initially was the point that a lot of teams were struggling to attack. Ooh, but Cetrox goes down. Good start for Netherlands. They've got to back away, though, as Madboy gets a kill with that pulse bomb in the back lines. And Netherlands, you know, they can afford to make this into an economy push. They're not doing it quite yet, but times aren't dire just yet.
Maybe not the best idea to try and zone out here with this self-destruct. Netherlands working their way up towards 6 ultimates. They're playing it very conservatively right now, want everything available to them. Now they know because of the Lucio swap that there's not going to be a sound barrier coming up anytime soon.
And that's the right move, you know, I mean, you've got time. You're close to 6 ults, so just, you know, do a couple eco pushes, poke in a little bit. Don't
Too
jump a whole lot.
easy.
And then Too Easy gets 2 kills with the pulse bomb. Oh man, Netherlands
just
storming in.
That is such an insane opener. Even though Too Easy dies, Facility here with the TAC visor going to get healed up within the Transcendence. And it looks like Netherlands going to have a pretty successful attack right now. Lots of time on the point at the very least.
Yeah, they may just get it here. Last ditch effort to defend for Poland coming in. The Dragon Blade is out for Dante. We'll see if he can pick anything up with it. But the sound barrier denying the damage for the Netherlands. Crusade gets the kill on that Genji. He's out of the way. And all they need is a tiny little bit, 2.5% required to take Point B here for the Netherlands. Poland fighting for their life. Moth popped out of the Diva suit, and that is going to be it. Netherlands with 2 points, nearly unable to take Point A, but then getting a pretty quick Point B.
And Primal Rage clutch at the end because it bopped people off of the point to make sure they could maximize the amount of time in the time bank, really prevent the Polish team from stalling that one out. But Too Easy opening things up for the Netherlands side one more time. And those picks were the go button. They had the 6 ultimates as well, and really only the Transcendence on the side was available for Poland. And once you're already down 2, that Transcendence's value goes way, way down.
Well, Too Easy really has kind of been the trump card for Netherlands in this one. When things have been down, he's been the one kind of making the plays to get things going back in Netherlands' direction again. And Poland, so far, as of yet, still doesn't seem like they really have much of an answer for his Tracer.
Yeah, and you can really see the Dutch team's coordination too, because you could see they were waiting for that big 6-ult push, trying to get Facility up after he swapped over to the Soldier into the tack visor, and they immediately reacted to the kills coming in from 2easy, made the all-in play.
Yeah.
And made a quick work of point B after struggling again. Poland holding well on point A all the way into overtime. But it seems like when we look at the Polish team, if things are going well, if that first push goes well, they look strong. But as the game goes on, if they don't have that time to reset, if one plan fails, they can't really adapt or reset up these defenses on the fly.
You know, another part of it seems like they really need to keep Moth alive. They need that D.Va in there, absorbing damage to kind of keep the team standing. And if you've noticed a lot of these fights, the ones that Netherlands have found success in are ones where they're able to eliminate the D.Va early, like get Moth popped out of the suit at least.
Yeah, indeed. A huge part of the current meta is playing around that
Sure
D.Va.
is.
And we're going to see Dante coming back with a Sombra and Danye on the Reaper. So this is a short-range composition from Poland. They want to just speed boost onto the point as fast as possible, but they're going to get jumped on.
That's
and
it, yeah.
Facility.
Ooh, wow, triple kill with the dash. Are you serious? What a shift button. Which one is dash? I don't play Genji. Shift, right?
Yeah.
What a shift button press by Facility.
And look at this. Goodbye. It's just throwing yourself off the edge onto the moon. You know, that wouldn't actually hurt you on the moon.
Why does that hurt her? She didn't, hit anything, wasn't falling very fast. I don't know. I think there's something else going on in there.
Yeah, definitely wouldn't be that painful, but
I've got big lore issues with what happened to Moth just right now. It's not how the moon works. That's not how the moon works. I've never had to yell that before.
well, I'm glad you had the opportunity here today, though.
Me too. Danya coming in, trying to stay alive. He's got Wraith form, but they take him out so quickly. I mean, the idea with this Reaper is that you become this battering ram, and you protect the Reaper, and then the damage he does take is healed by your supports. Here we go again. No, it's not how it works. It's going to be just like a pile of divas on the moon at some point. But so, going back to the strategy here, I mean, the idea, and they're switching it up, is to run Reaper in there, and whatever damage he takes gets healed by the supports or his own passive now, which makes him generally very hard to take down. But the Netherlands have just been diving hardcore and eliminating him early. There's the EMP now from Dante as Netherlands goes in for a very aggressive defensive fight, and Facility basically unleashed to do whatever he wants, and that is a pretty resounding defensive fight win for Netherlands.
I think we could say there that they probably didn't have to use the Dragon Blade, but at the same time,
sure,
they do basically have 4 other ultimates useful over the next 2 minutes. So
I mean,
you might as well shut it down very quickly.
I think that's reasonable. If you say we're going to EMP and then Dragon Blade, that's just the plan going into it. They didn't end up beating it, but it still is ult efficient to say we're only committing these 2 ults to the fight.
And we are looking at 2easy right now, trying to find an angle for that pulse bomb. Not going to stick it.
Ooh, that was close though. 2easy looking for a little bit more. Facility already does have the kill onto Matboy. And so Poland a bit scattered. They're already kind of backing away. And Netherlands holding 2 minutes, or I'm sorry, 1:30 remaining for Poland's attack round.
And this is a really forward defense that we're seeing from the Netherlands. Sombra, of course, trying to poke out, get that EMP back, does immediately fall back and translocate, but we haven't seen a lot of Sombra defenses on point A, so the Dutch team brings something a bit different.
Yeah, does the hack on Katowice, so that's going to be a problem. 2easy comes in for the finishing damage. And Dante, easy recall that's to stay alive, and got an exploding D.Va to keep him company. Netherlands winning another pretty simple defensive fight.
Goodbye, Moth.
How many times have we seen it? Moth just, I'm starting to think he just enjoys it.
Just enjoys, that's his favorite.
Like I said,
it's his favorite lunar cliff to leap off of.
There's just going to be a pile of divas at the bottom of that cliff now on the moon. You're going to look up there and you're going to be like, oh, there's the hyper-intelligent gorilla colony, and there's the famous pile of dead divas in the crater next to it.
Well, she does waste so many mechs, maybe they're cloning her as well. So.
Maybe. You think so? Replace the mech, replace the pilot.
All right, 30 seconds left, Noah. We've got to see this work now. Poland has the tools to make this happen.
Yeah, Netherlands with the Transcendence early to keep things going. And
Dante went down so fast that Dante doesn't even have to use the EMP.
And that push was over before it began. And so now the only option left for Poland is a hyper-fast desperation push. But with the respawn timers, I don't think they're even going to get...
They can't get there with EMP, though. They're going to get hacked, and they're not going to have the movement abilities.
Yeah. I agree. I think it's it. Shlebaisos pops the Transcendence to live through the Pulse Bomb. Dante coming in from the side. They're trying to get to that point. There's the EMP. Tank does go down, and that should be it for Netherlands. Oh, he hacks him right after the leap. So Primal Rage will actually get them to the point to force overtime, but can they win the fight?
Moth actually picks up Forte with the kill on the point, but I don't think that's going to be enough. Moth trying to get in there.
Where's my crater?
Will be shut down immediately by a pulse bomb on the D-suit. Desperation sound barrier, and they can't quite get back in. So Netherlands will, in fact, full hold with a rare Sombra defense on point A.
Yeah, so Netherlands takes Lunar Colony. They have won the match at this point, 3-0 in map score. Poland still with a chance to take this final map in our 4-map set. And again, as we've seen in the World Cup, every map counts. So even though you've lost the match technically, you still want to try just as hard in this last one to get the map win at least, because it could make a big difference depending on how things play out with the other matches.
What's such a heartbreaker though for Team Poland is we've nearly seen them full hold twice now, and it's just been in the very waning seconds of overtime that the Netherlands has been able to push through and actually take some of these maps. So it really has been quite close, at least on those point A. If we look at Numbani and we look at Horizon there, but it's just not quite enough.
That's right. So we're going to take a quick break, guys, and when we come back, the final map between Poland and the Netherlands. Don't go anywhere. Overwatch World Cup coming back right after this.
Even in the heart of heaven, angels can still feel fear. Diablo.
No one can stop death.
The Overwatch World Cup 2017 is brought to you by Omen by HP, T-Mobile, and Blizzard Entertainment.
Hey, we're back. Don Monte Cristo here for our last map between Poland and the Netherlands. We'll see who takes this last one, and we'll see who else becomes a corpse for the Necromancer to rise from the grave. Maybe that's a little bit too far. They're not going to die. Don't worry. It's okay.
I think that's probably for the best, though.
Yeah,
but
no. The Diablo 3 is fun right now, though.
I haven't had a chance to play the Necromancer yet. I'm looking forward to it once our World Odyssey
We'll do some seasonal stuff.
is at its close.
It's true. We do play every season.
We do?
Yeah. It's fun. It's a Blizzard game, too, so we can talk about it. Hooray! Well, the Netherlands certainly looking like the better team in this series. I think it's hard to argue that point after looking how these maps went. The defense on Lunar Colony was very tight. And but like we said, Poland, still a lot to play for here. They want to still do everything they can to win this last map because we don't know how things are going to shake out with Austria, with the other matches that we have coming in Group E a little bit later. Looks like Dorado is going to be the final map pick for Poland.
Yeah, and I hope we get to see some more from them there, because it seems
Sure.
like as long as things are going well, they start off strong, but as soon as they're put a little bit off kilter, they can really never find their footing on the map again. And I'm not sure if that's a communication issue where they can't adapt to how Netherlands is changing the way they play on the fly. It's also been a lot of trying to deal with Too Easy, and I think he definitely has been a thorn in the side of Poland.
I mean, there's a thing in Overwatch called resetting, right? Which is where when your team has lost a fight, your team needs to reset. And that is a skill that takes some practice, getting everybody back on the same page, getting everyone positioned, going in correctly. So resetting is something that we do see teams struggle with too. And when you see a team like Poland that look fine until they lose that first fight, it's resetting that they got the issue with, right? They can't kind of get everybody back together after that first team fight loss.
Yeah, been tough.
Yeah.
As we take a look at the Netherlands here, we are going to see Dante on the Ana and then coupled with Visility's Soldier. So this is another chance for the Netherlands to play a high ground spread defense. So we're not going to see a lot of diving onto the low ground, poking mostly on the cart from up top. And Poland going to have to be aggressive in the way that they dive if they want to actually regain control.
Well, so far, the members of Netherlands have been able to kind of take care of themselves on defense. You know, there's a lot of independent escapes and sort of fight wins that we've seen on a smaller scale, which is very promising if you're a fan of the Netherlands.
Yeah, Danya just going to get up onto that high ground right now. Problem with what we see from the Netherlands is they have to stay in the sight lines of their healers, which that did not happen right now.
Nope.
Because to delay the cart, you only have 2 players that are going to be going down. Facility at least will take out Danya as he's creeping up on the side of the wall. Crusade will be falling to tank. And it seems like Poland is going to be coming through this first choke point as Netherlands has to fall back into the market square.
So the group on the high ground was able to fight off the attack, but the group on the low ground did not fare as well. And so that leaves a 6v3 that obviously Netherlands is going to have a pretty tough time winning. And it looks like Poland is going to start out with a pretty strong attack here. Looks a lot like Nambani, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. And that's the problem with this defense here, as we're going to see what Cetrox is doing right now is saving the damage. So he gets the damage there and can immediately re-jump.
Yep. Been pretty popular with a lot of Winston players on a lot of maps. Volskaya was where we saw that a lot. He's going to roast Morta. And Poland, again, kind of struggling to put up a defensive fight here for the moment.
Danya at least going to pick up some with the Dragon Blade, but they still got Crusade on the point. Very low with the mech, and he is going to get ejected from that. Payload keeps going here as they get the remaining kills. Too Easy, trying to make it difficult.
Wow, that was a pretty Herculean effort by Mattboy there. Getting those kills on his own in the 1v3, getting out to get healed and back in the fight quick. That was a pretty sick Tracer play a moment ago.
He's been doing well so far in this match. Trying to zone Too Easy out of the side right now. Dutch players coming back one by one, and they have stopped the progress of this card. Soundberg going to come through for Poland.
Well, they've got an edge coming in here. It looks like they're going to go ahead and have Visility commit the attack buys as well on the Netherlands side. Early kill on the tank here, and with that nano boost, Visility doing a ton of damage here. 2 kills, and Netherlands looks like they're going to hold.
Finally stabilizing late in the fight. Sound barrier, I think, a bit early from the Polish side, but they still have the Transcendence to work with if they want to push onto the cart. And with only a few meters left to go, Moth will be able to zone out with that self-destruct. So Poland still has plenty of CC tools or zone creation tools just to get those last few meters.
You don't see a lot of teams get held right there. That was kind of a surprising fight that the Netherlands were able to pull out. And I think it is, like you said, due to that slightly early sound barrier on the Poland side, but they've got a ton of ults to work with. Let's see what they can get done with it as they dive in. Mattboy throws in the pulse bomb, doesn't really find anybody with it. Now the self-destruct comes in. Mattboy does get the kill on the Yona in the end. So Netherlands starting to get picked apart a little bit here. We'll see if the self-destruct... Oh, it does catch Danya. All right, Crusade picking up a big one there. They need more. Oh, and there's a catch on the Dante.
A big kill there, leaping up onto the Ana to take out the Ana player. That's going to cut off some vital healing to the Dutch side. And they are just going to push forward onto the cart right now. Late sound barrier from the Netherlands will keep Morta alive, though, and allows Yona the opportunity to jump back in.
I think initially, well, Cetrox jumping away from his team as he knew he was stuck. Smart move there. It does still mean the Netherlands have a chance to keep pushing Poland back. They're buying themselves a ton of time, whether Poland does take A or not here. But it looks like Danya may be able to finally close this one out and get that point A taken.
Yeah, Morta committed the sound barrier. They got a lot of time out of it. Danya still hopping over the cart facility, trying to get back right now. Very low on the soldier. Morta will be the last to fall. That's not going to be enough.
Wow.
With 17 seconds left, seems like finally Poland will make it through point A.
They bought like 2 or 3 minutes there on the defense. So despite almost losing point A early, pretty stellar defense from Netherlands here. Early on in Dorado, now only about 2:30 on the clock for Poland to work with on their attack run. Point B is usually where we see the payload move pretty quick, but as it comes around this last corner, as we look at what Danya's seeing, that's where the Netherlands might want to try to set up their next defense. Either that or they're going to try to take the high ground here. Looks like that's what they're going to go for initially.
Yeah, just a very slow push onto the high ground, not rushing up, and Too Easy still dealing with Botboy on the low ground. Facility gets cut down, and his tac visor zoned out by Danya with the reflect.
Man, it's going to be a pretty good start for Danya. Danya jumps in with no health against the Winston. I don't think he looked at his health bar before going in there because he had like 25 health.
Was definitely a rush maneuver there. Poland now has to fall all the way back to their spawn. Botboy has the pulse bomb.
When he was dashing over there, my brain was just going, no! What are you doing? You have no health.
Yeah, unfortunately, not going to be able to make the big play there for sure. Botboy is going to be sneaking around, tries to get on the facility, doesn't hit the actual pulse bomb though, and he may be in trouble now. At least gets the Transcendence out. Facility on the run away from a self-destruct, but he can't quite round the corner.
That was a pretty great trade initially, but then the follow-up kill gives Poland maybe the edge to win this fight and push forward. It's a grinding fight, as many have been in this series. Nice kill on Morta from Matboy though. And Poland certainly seems to have put themselves in a position to keep this payload moving a little bit. But the Netherlands doing what they did on point A. Really long, great delays with their tanks. And that payload sat there for quite a while.
I mean, the stalls have been great, Doa. Moreover, Morta has the sound barrier right now, so they can delay and actually push them off of the cart. You combine that with the self-destruct and the primal rage, and the stall here from Netherlands is going to be huge unless Poland wins a miracle fight or gets a miracle pick. They're going to have to deal with pushing this cart through point B in overtime.
I mean, what this all comes down to is that even if Poland is able to take point B, Danya, whoever you are, no! And Netherlands gets a couple early kills, but you know, this delay, the point is that even if Poland does take point B, it's going to be nearly impossible to finish the map. And now we're looking at a situation where it's going to be nearly impossible for them to take point B.
And guess what? Primal Rage is still there because that self-destruct was so effective at taking out Danya. They also still have the beat to drop, and there's a long way between them and the cart with only 5 seconds to get there.
Last-ditch effort from Poland. They got to make something happen. Now they lose Paistos early. That hurts so bad. Danya needs to come up huge with this Dragon Blade. Has to cut through the sound barrier, though, and that is not easy. Yona getting 1 kill already. Too Easy does go down, so 1 kill at the very end, but Danya no health left to work with. And Netherlands striking back. Cetrax kind of on his own, but he's got a lot to deal with, and it looks like that's going to be a hold right here for the Netherlands, and that's tough, man. I mean, that is not a hard attack to be successful on from the Netherlands side.
Yeah, it is, but we've seen very close to full holds from the Poland team so far.
Yeah.
So if they can actually pull it off this time and prevent Netherlands from going through in overtime, maybe they can take Dorado. But that self-destruct kill onto Danya was so very important.
Yeah, for sure.
Forced the entire Polish team to reset. They didn't have an opportunity to make the Netherlands use the sound barrier, make them use the primal rage. And when you're in that scenario, rushing back, having to use your ultimate simply to get back to the cart. And it allows Netherlands to really play conservatively with that ult economy, get onto the cart, and use the CC. It's almost impossible to push through in that overtime scenario.
I like seeing them kind of standing back there. It kind of reminds me of as if I was picking one of them in a Mortal Kombat game or something. They kind of have that like repeating loop stance kind of thing.
I love it. It's great. You're right though. It does make it seem like a fighting game.
It does. Who would be your Mortal Kombat character out of these guys? Who would be your fighting game pick? Which one of these guys would you pick as your fighting game character?
I'd pick Too Easy for sure, especially given how bloodthirsty he's been so far in this match. Absolutely. Right. He's small but tenacious.
Yeah, I could see that. I'd go with Crusade personally.
You like Crusade?
He's got the flexibility. He's like the dude that he's not like your big sword character, or he's not like the cool ninja, but he's like the character that's actually very good if you practice with him enough.
All right, well, we'll make them 1v1 for our amusement later.
The first annual Monty and Doha Hunger Games here in the Overwatch World Cup. Got to start sometime.
So Poland actually also going to be using the Ana and the Soldiers. So same composition we saw from Netherlands on defense. Netherlands actually going to be playing with 2easy on the Widowmaker. So can he hit the shots right out of the gate? Looking for somebody to poke off. He's going to get a headshot onto the D.Va. They know the Widow's here now. Reposition. Nope. Hook shot. Gonna leap up. Wants that Ana, but they're playing around the line of sight well.
So close, man.
Miss.
Mad Boy. There we go. You gotta watch out, man. There's a Widowmaker down there.
He was focused on staying on the other side of the card.
I guess so, yeah.
Netherlands has 5 people now coming through that tunnel on the high ground, so they're going to be directly taking control of that position. Paistos dodges the shot, but still dies to Crusade.
National Paistos would have died a little bit earlier, but didn't end up mattering too much. And Tank got to be a little bit careful there. 2easy. Not necessarily getting a lot of kills himself, but he's doing his job. He's getting the damage done, and he's pushing Poland into kind of uncomfortable positions on the map.
Well, he's creating space, and I think the crucial thing that this does is if they're playing with an Ana, the Ana can't be in line of sight to heal the tanks. So it creates a lot of problems, because if the Widowmaker sees her, she dies. So as long as you're playing around the front line and making this very slow push, it's very difficult to play Ana right now. And
you got to back off if you're straight through there.
So close to dying.
Yeah.
Still wants it.
All right. Sees where everybody is. Mad Boy being very, very careful here, so it's all right. Time to shoot somebody else. A lot of damage onto that D.Va. Nice shot onto Mad Boy. Ooh, gets a couple of them. Gets that mech as well. And this Widowmaker is working so well for Netherlands right now.
It's not that 2easy is hitting every shot here, but what he is doing is he's playing the right positions, and his team is playing around him. So that's the effect right now. It's the threat of the Widowmaker that is really creating the big difference here for the Netherlands.
He's picking the right targets, too. I mean, part of what you do on Widowmaker is you don't necessarily get tons of headshots, right? You get damage on the people you don't want to be part of the fight on the enemy side. So he's basically,
that's a good one, though.
Headshot.
That's a nice shot.
What you do is you basically click on people you don't want to be able to fight your team, and they have to back away. Sometimes you just kill them. Now it's happening. All right.
Well, with the Zenyatta dead, there's nothing else. Finally, Mop is able to find 2easy in that back line. You know, out of all the players on Poland, Mop has been struggling trying to shut down the damage on this D.Va for most of the series so far.
Well, it's been a show on the Widowmaker for sure. There's the ultimate again, revealing where everybody on Team Poland is on the map at the moment. And Netherlands has a lot of time to push it not too far.
It's just moving so freely right now. Yona waiting to see if somebody's going to try and stop this Widowmaker on the high ground.
So much zone control.
Poland is really waiting a long time here. So Paistos was taken out, and Map Boy dies right on the approach on the Tracer.
Well, it's a 6v5 starting things off. Transcendence for both teams. It's Disco Fever. Self-destruct coming in. No kills for Netherlands. They're going to kind of pick apart Poland here. Dives very deep. There's the sound barrier. Kills coming in. So it looks like this might be the end of the match right here as Visility cuts down Poland's hopes of winning a single map in this series. They're going to try to delay as long as they can. They've got Cetrox with that Primal Rage, but it's not going to last forever. And that should be about it. Netherlands takes a clean 4-0 in this first match.
And this map, Doha, they looked their best. So precise on that attack.
I agree.
That was significantly smoother. They had struggled previously, especially when they were on offense. But this time around, they had the strategy planned around the Widowmaker. They got the necessary angles and moved well as a unit.
Right. Well, tough start for Team Poland. Nimbani looked a little bit closer. As you can see, that was a 3-2. But after that, it was pretty definitively the Netherlands proving they are the better team, at least in this match anyway. But we've got a lot of Overwatch to cover for the rest of the weekend, though, don't we?
Yeah, we certainly do. And, of course, Netherlands going to have a huge issue when they fight South Korea later this weekend. So this first victory, very important. 4-0, every map can be a difference in a tiebreaker. So
absolutely.
Definitely a 4-0 going to be huge for them here.
Yep. And it's scary, too, when you look at that prospect of having to fight South Korea. I mean, we've been checking out some of the scrims so far